Good morning, Sabres. Welcome to a new and what I think is our last unit for the year. And this unit is called Thematic Synthesis. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be reading a selection of different types of texts, and you're going to be evaluating and synthesizing the ideas you learn from those texts to ultimately come up with an essay and a presentation. So what is thematic synthesis? Well, thematic is relating to a particular subject, and synthesis is the combination of ideas to form a theory. So what you're going to be doing is, as it says right here, you're going to be evaluating different types of texts that relate to a certain topic in order to answer an essential question about that topic. So throughout this unit, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be annotating the mentor text. So everyone that chooses a particular essential question is going to read one of the same text pieces. So everyone who chooses question number 1 will read the same text. Then you'll be reading 4 other sources, and you'll be analyzing and evaluating those as well. Then you'll be putting that together and writing a synthesis essay to answer your essential question, and finally, creating a presentation of your final answer and how you arrived at it. So the step 1 on what you're going to be doing today is, first, you're going to pick one of these 6 essential questions. Now, you're going to be working on this for the next 6 weeks, so it's important that you pick a question that you really have some interest in. So what I want you to do is not just randomly pick one, or not even just go by what you see here on this screen, but I would like you to click on each of these questions and then look through the different offerings that you'll be expected to read and annotate. So the first one is, what is the allure of fear? Meaning, why do we like to go to haunted houses? Why do we watch scary movies? Why do we go on roller coasters? Things of that nature. If that's something that you've ever wondered about, you might want to pick that. Second one is, do people need to belong? Do we need to belong in social units, in friend groups, in family groups, in communities? Or can people actually exist independently, individually? You always hear about these people that move away into the woods or into the Alaska, into Canada, into the north, and kind of rough it and live by themselves. Is that a viable way to live? Third, what is the relationship between power and freedom? Does it always mean that with the more power you have, the more freedom you have? Or is that not true? Next, what do our possessions reveal about us? There are some people that are very materialistic and like to collect things, houses, cars, lots of expensive jewelry, things of that nature. Some people are very minimalistic and don't like to own things. So what does that say about each of those kinds of people? Next, what motivates us to forgive? When people hurt us, many of us will ultimately forgive those people that hurt us. Why do we do that? How does it benefit us to forgive other people? And lastly, kind of a mysterious one, what does it mean to see? What does it mean to really see or to understand things? So again, throughout this unit, you're going to be annotating the mentor text, analyzing and evaluating 4 sources, writing a synthesis to answer the essential question, and creating a presentation of your final answer and how you arrived at it. So let's take a look at one of these units really quickly. So if I were to click on the allure of fear, it's going to take me to a Google document. And in this Google document, everyone who picks what is the allure of fear is going to have to read this mentor text, My Introduction to Gothic Literature. They're going to have to go to this, make a copy of it, and annotate it, and eventually link it into another document so that I can see that you have annotated it. Then you'll be responsible for reading the poem Windingo, the short story The Fall of House of Usher, the nonfiction piece Sleep Paralysis, Waking Nightmare, and the multimedia piece The Dream Collector. Now, you'll see that we do have some other alternatives here down below it. Now, these are things that you can choose to do if any of these links up here do not work. But, for instance, if you find these pieces just way too complicated or you just don't understand them. But the requirement is this. if you do not like this poem, Wendigo, and you would like to replace it, you must replace it with either Beware, Do Not Read This Poem or The Raven. So you can exchange a poem for a poem, a short story for a short story, a nonfiction piece for a nonfiction piece, or a multimedia piece for a multimedia piece. And then we have this interview and criticism, which might be possible as well. Now, if you are going to replace any of these things, you need to communicate that to me through an email and then wait for a reply from me saying that it is okay. But generally, you're going to be reading these pieces if you choose What is the Allure of Fear? Now, every question has a similar document with similar mentor texts and similar other multimedia pieces. And again, if you are going to exchange one out, you need to communicate with that with me and get my permission for it. So back here. So those, again, step one, picking one of these 6 units. Once you have that done, then you have to fill out a Google form. This is very important that you fill this out well because it's where I'm going to go to keep track of everything you do. But before you do that, what I want you to do is I want you to make a copy of this notes document and a copy of this rubric document. So for instance, if we go to this notes document, you're going to be doing most of your work in this. And this is where I am going to be going daily to check that you have what you need to have done. So here what you want to do is you want to go to File and make a copy. And what I want you to do, pay very close attention to this. I want you to put your last name in the copy of the document you make. That's going to allow you to type in this document. And this is the document that you will ultimately link to me in the Google form. As we see here, I have my last name. You'll have your last name. Thematic Synthesis Notes 920. Now you're going to do the same thing for the rubric. Go ahead and make a copy of that. Put in your last name. All right. Then, after you have that done, you're going to fill out this day 1 choosing your unit form. It is a standard Google form. You're going to put in your last name, your first name, your block. You're going to pick the unit that you're choosing. And then, these are the 2 very important ones, link to your copy of the rubric. So go ahead and find the rubric where you put your name. Go to Share. And you're going to want to change it to Can Edit. Anyone at Franklin Schools with link can edit. All right, you're going to copy that link. And you're going to put it in there. Then you're going to do the same thing with your notes document. You're going to share it. Anyone at Franklin Schools with link can edit. Going to copy that, put it in there, and then you're done. Go ahead and do a real quick check to make sure you have everything filled in. Last name, first name, block, central question choice, link to your synthesis rubric, and link to your thematic notes, and you're going to submit that. There you go. And you can see what happens here. This is what I just submitted. And this is where I'm going to be going to every time I need to check something. So when I want to check your notes and to see if you are up on today's work, I'll be going to this link here. Again, it opened up my document. You will have typed in here, and I will be able to see what you have done. So that's how I'm going to check on your work each day. All right, so hopefully I explained that clearly. If not, ask me a question, send me an email, do a Google Meet, whatever works for you. All right. Now, today, I do want you to do a little bit of work in this notes document. It's very simple. First, you're going to take the question that you have chosen, and you are going to copy it and put it into this essential question box. So let me go to my notes. Oops. So let's say I chose, what is the allure of fear? I'm going to simply copy that, paste it in there. Then what I need to do is I need to write, as you can see here, 6-sentence minimum. And I am going to be counting the sentences. What I want you to do here is, let's get rid of, and I want you to write 6 sentences, basically your initial ideas about this. What is your allure of fear? And so on. So you're going to end up writing 6 sentences. And again, I am going to be counting the sentences to make sure you have that done. And then, again, if you haven't filled out that form, which is you should have already done this, you'll fill out that form. So that is what you're going to be doing today. And that is what I'm going to be checking on for that accountability task. So that is what you are working on today. And that is it. So today you should have done your 15-minute membing session. If you didn't have 2 done already, you are having a membing test next week. And then secondly, filling out the day 1 choosing your form, making sure you have this completed by 6 p.m. And then finally, make sure you fill out the day 1 work on your notes document. So hopefully that's all very clear. And again, if you have any questions, email me or we can arrange for a Google Meet. Hope you're staying safe. Hope you're not going too stir crazy. But that is what we have going on. So I will talk to you soon. Bye.